Howdy everybody. I've got sort of a new toy type thing here. Could be a tool. This is an Eora 3D scanner. I backed this on Kickstarter a couple years ago, and I've had it for a few weeks. So far I've really only done like one scan with it, and that's here. I made a video of this, so I'll link it in the description. It's a pretty rough video, so watch it if you want. It's unlisted, and it's unlisted because it's so rough or whatever. Kind of did some bad edits. Alright, so I thought I would try it again. I'm going to scan this PlayStation 4 controller. The PlayStation 4 controller's actually got Xbox thumbsticks on it. This is the black controller. I don't know if black will scan very well, so I have a gray controller back there as backup. Once I get a scan that seems acceptable, I'll open the file in Rhino and take a look, maybe do some measurements. So if you're thinking about getting one of these, or if you are getting one of these, maybe this video will be, helpful, or give you some hope or something. Or actually maybe it'll make you, regret your decision. I don't know. Anyway, so let's do a scan. I think the light just went from yellow to purple. I think that means it's connected, kind of ready to go. Now my button is blue, so I'll hit it. I'll let this go at real speed for any time I'm not yammering on. I will let it go at full speed. That's to let you see kind of how quickly it works or whatever. I'll note that I set my phone so that the screen won't turn off. It seems that they haven't made it so it keeps the screen on, and it seems like if you let the screen turn off, it kind of ruins the scan. Okay, I guess I can already see that's not looking too good. So here it is. I can see that some of it's visible, but the vast majority is not. Probably because it's black. So let's put the 20th anniversary controller back there. See how it works. Oh, I meant for you guys to be able to see that, but alright. That's interesting. It's zoomed in, presumably from the last time. So the buttons are not visible in there, it looks like they're not. Maybe portions of them are. But the scan looks pretty cool. So I'll take this over and check it out on the computer. I think what I'll do is I'll do another calibration and scan it again. I guess I'll probably fast forward through this if it's successful, or I'll just cut this out if it doesn't work. So take that out. Okay, so I've got the scanner on a 1, 2, 3 block. I'm going to set the phone there, and I'm going to only move the phone when I'm repositioning it inside the I'm repositioning the calibration grid inside the square on here. Sweet. Alright, so let's put the controller up here again. And do another scan and compare them, see if there's any difference. Whoops. Okay, cool. Looks like the preview is kind of... it's like the... I don't know. I guess you'd call this y-axis is reversed or something. This part here is the wall that's behind it. It's kind of showing up with priority for some reason. Yeah, it's getting layered on top of the other things, but as long as the data's there, I don't think I care what the preview looks like. All right, let's take these files off. I think. So this is the the old calibration, new calibration. And I don't know what'll happen here. Let's see, this says new file 2. So new file 3 is the new calibration. New file 2 is the old calibration. Exported as a PLY. Doesn't really say anything, but I guess it does it. I'll export this one as a PLY as well. And actually get the files off of here, I'm going to use a file manager. This is the folder, but I meant to actually navigate to here so yeah, you can see or whatever. Here's the root of my phone. I may blur out everything except where I go to, just because I'm paranoid. So I've got, let's see, Android, data. I'll scroll through this one here, Eora 3D, .Eora 3D scanner alpha files, and we've got a bunch of gibberish. I don't know what that's about. This is new file 1. This is new file. That's my initial scan, and 2 and 3 here. So there are the files on the Android device. You know, you can get them off using whatever method you want. Plug it into USB probably. Alright, so see you over on the computer. Okie doke. So I've got the latest version of the Rhino 6 beta here. And I can open up the scan files in this software. I've been looking at this for a while, so let me get rid of this grid. It's just kind of annoying. Alright, so I've been looking at this for a while, so I've seen all of these things. So let me just kind of zoom around and look at the things that I've noticed. Alright, so first of all, I suppose we can see that a lot of the object and the background and stuff are missing. That's almost surely because those things are black, and it's hard to expect a laser scanner, that is to say a scanner shines a light at an object, to be able to pick up black objects with, you know, incredible fidelity. So I'm actually willing to forgive that. I hope that they do something, you know, to magically fix it, but if they don't, I'm not going to be too surprised. Okay, I'd say the second most glaring thing that I've noticed while, you know, looking at this is that this object here, this white board, is their calibration grid, and in real life, it's made of acrylic, I think, and it's pretty flat. And in the scan here, it is not flat. And it seems like something that they're using to calibrate would then come out pretty close, but that is not the case. Hopefully it will be in the future, we'll see. So you can see the edge up here is pretty wavy. And something I can do is I can draw an actually straight line from up there to, let's say, over here, and then draw a perpendicular line off of that line to a point on here, and then measure that line. We can see that's 0.932 millimeters. So this isn't a perfect measurement of where, it should be and everything, but we can see that it's off by somewhere around 0.9 millimeters. That's a little extreme in my opinion. The next thing we can do is try to measure one of the features on the controller here. And the best feature that I can see would be this circular pad around the D-pad. So I think what I'll do is I'll actually draw a line on here from one edge across the center to the other edge. And then I'll grab it and measure it. Let's see, 37.475 millimeters. And then I guess we can look at where I measured here and see if it looks like I picked good points. I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. I've measured this as well as I can using calipers, and I got about 37.2, honestly, the one time I measured it. And if I was modeling this and I only had my caliper measurement to use to base my drawing on, I would probably assume that they were going for 37 exactly millimeters. But that's, an assumption. That's not necessarily the case. One more thing we can measure that I think might yield some accuracy is from this edge of the pad, or on the D-pad, to this one around the buttons. Maybe about there. This, when I measured it with calipers, came out to be 134.4 millimeters. Let's see how long this line is. 134.162. So, again, pretty close. And I'd say that's, I'm pretty impressed. One of the things that I wanted to do with a 3D scanner is to be able to measure these complex 3D objects using something that would hopefully, at the very least, be a little more repeatable than just sort of squinting and closing one eye and trying to line up my calipers with, like some curve on the edge of an object or something. So these holes and stuff don't thrill me, but I think for, the purpose that I actually want to use it for, it's going to serve that pretty good. I would like a little more accuracy, but even where it is right now, I think it's pretty good. Alright, so that's file 2. Now I'll open up file 3, and I'll insert it into here. I forget if I already mentioned this, but file 3 looks pretty close to file 2. They look basically identical. Well, let me hide this and switch to the hidden layer, so we're only looking at this one. And just as a reminder, this is the file that was created using the new calibration. As we can see on the top here, we have this waviness. It's hard for me to say if I think this is better or worse than the first one. But I guess we'll draw a line here. I suppose comparing it to this line, we can see it's kind of going off in both directions. I suspect a perpendicular line in here will be a little shorter. Oops. 0.48. So it's, it's off by, say, 0.5 millimeter this way, and looks like probably, whatever, around 3/4 of a millimeter that way, maybe only half. Perhaps it's a little better. To do some measurements on here, I'll just do I'll try to do this a little more quickly, so not keep you guys all day. $133.4, so that's off by a whole millimeter compared to what I got in by using my calipers. And 36.5. So it kind of looks to me like file 3 ended up being a little smaller. Smaller than the first and smaller than what the controller is in real life. Anyway, I'd say I've probably talked about this enough. It's a look at where Eora is at the moment. Hopefully it'll get better. See you guys later.